bulging hips. Ew. Hey, what's up you guys, Journalist Prime here doing another Marvel Select figure review on the Marvel Select Captain America the Winter Soldier movie Captain America figure released by Diamond Select Toys. I just picked this figure up at my local comic book shop, Coastside Comics. If you can't find your Captain America at your local comic book shop, you can find it at Big Bad Toy.
Big! Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
Very typical packaging here with the Marvel Select figures. It's not changing, and I don't really need to change. I like the packaging very much. I like what they did over here. You know, you get the texturing of Captain America's suit going on. I think that looks very nice. We get this little sticker shield over there. We have the red, white, and blue shield as opposed to the blue and silver shield. You get this picture of Chris Evans right here on the side. Then on the back of the packaging, you see a picture of the figure, and we have this little bio and a summarization of the movie as well. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause it now. And then going back to the front of the packaging, it says ages 8 and up. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm excited for this figure. Let's crack it open. So here's Cap out of the packaging. Looking pretty cool. Not a bad looking figure. I do have some complaints about it. Not bad. I like the base. He comes with a shield helicarrier base. It looks like it's part of the inside. We'll go over that in a little bit. But just to give a 360 of the figure over here, like I said, it's not a bad looking figure at all. But yeah, this foot over here looks a little strange to me, just the way it's posed, and I'll get into that later on. But yeah, let's take a closer look at this base over here, then we'll take a closer look at the Captain America figure. So here's a look at the base, and I like the sculpted work on it. It looks like we're in the inside of a shield helicarrier, and if you could imagine having a bunch of these lined up, it could look like a pretty cool diorama. But you know, even just a single piece looks pretty cool, so I like that. My only gripe really about it is that I think they could have done a little bit more with the paint applications. It seems pretty bland. It's just all silver, and the silver doesn't look too bad. You can see some of the washing kind of coming through right here. I don't know if that was on purpose or by accident. This looks like an accident right over here, but for the most part it's pretty good looking. But you know, again, I just wish there was some more variation right here in some of these pipes coming down the side, or the bolts or something, or the flooring of this down here. You know, a little bit more variety than this I think would have been nice. And there's nothing on the back. That's okay. Now if you want to take this apart, it does come assembled, but if you want to take it apart, you can. So what you need to do to take it apart, you got to detach this part over here on the side, then do that over here. You're just basically moving it forward, and then it comes apart like that. So if you want to do something kind of nifty like that, you can. How do you tell the difference between the good guys and the bad guys? You look at them real hard like this. I don't know what that facial expression, I think it's kind of weird looking how he's squinting at us like that, but it's not bad. I don't really think the head sculpt really totally captures the likeness of Chris Evans, but I think they did a better job with this than the Marvel Legends Captain America. This definitely looks a lot more like Chris Evans when I look at it from the side over here. I think that looks a little better. I like the sculpting in the helmet. I like these little lines right over here. That looks really cool. And I like the little silver paint applications over there and the chin strap and everything. That looks nice. It has a pretty light tan color on the chin strap. Doesn't really match this shoulder strap over here, but the paint applications for the most part look pretty clean, and I like how the head sculpt looks. And by the way, for the cinematic universe, does Cap's shield attach like through magnetism? I feel like it just goes clunk, so I'm assuming this right here is magnetized with the shield somehow. That's what I'm telling myself anyway when I see the movie. Wish we'd gotten actually some more sculpted detail on this part right over here, and through other parts of the figure as well. You know, some kind of variation similar to like the little lines that we saw on the helmet over here. Wish we'd seen stuff like that throughout the rest of the figure, but overall the paint applications came out pretty clean. Honestly think there could have been more shading on the blue parts, and I think the brown sections could have been a little bit more consistent. Just in this shot right here, between his belt, the shoulder straps, and the gloves, we're getting different colors. I guess the shoulder straps and the gloves are closer, but the belt is definitely different, along with the straps on the shield. The shield, it doesn't really have to be consistent with the rest of the suit, but you know, the hands look pretty good. But I think that at least the belt and the gloves should have the same color, and I do like the sculpting and the paint applications on the glove section over here. We get some black mixed in there, so that looks pretty nice. You can see the red right over there on the side. I do have a little bit of wear on the upper thigh sections right over here from moving this joint around and it hitting this upper part over here, but it's not too big of a deal. Now the one thing that really bugs me about this figure is I really don't like these boots. This is just weird to me. I don't know why they went with this great color. Now of course I'm a fan of the little silver paint buckle applications over here, but these boots, man, I'm not really feeling this. And he has no boot laces over here, and that looks strange to me. I don't like the color, and I don't like how this is sculpted. It just looks like he's wearing moccasins or something like that. It would have been nice to see some nice tread sculpting right here at the bottom of the boot. I mean, just looking at the Marvel Select First Avenger Captain America figure, you can see right here this does have the treads. I think this looks a bit cooler. Then here's a look at the back of the figure. Like I said earlier, I wish there's more sculpted detail in it and a little bit more paint variations. Now to look at the shield a little bit better, I actually like the shield. I wish they had actually gone with a darker color red, but I still like the shield. And I'm kind of stoked that they went with the regular Captain America shield too. I don't understand the blue and silver. I understand that's a stealth mode, but they never really explain it in the movie, and that's kind of weak, I think, that they did that in the movie. Now this shield does come off of his hand a lot easier than the first Avenger Captain America shield. That one was kind of a pain. I ended up cutting mine up a little bit, but this one just goes in and out of the hand very easily. So you can just have him hold it like that, or just have it right there, and it's pretty firm, you know what I mean? It's not going to fall off if you shake it around. I like the silver paint applications, and again, we have this nice tanned paint application over here. You can tell it's supposed to be made out of leather or something. I think they could have gone with a darker tone, but you can see the little lines sculpted in there and stuff, and I like these little bolts right here holding everything together. I think that's pretty cool. And the shield itself is very firm. It's not going to break or anything. It feels like a very strong shield. And to compare the Winter Soldier Captain America shield to the first Avenger Captain America shield, you can see this one's a lot bigger. I actually do like the red on this one a lot more though. And for the first Avenger Captain America shield, it looks like they have a little bit more sculpting in the star section over here. This one's a bit more bland. So for a Marvel Select figure, this Cap has some decent articulation. Unfortunately, his head does not look up though. He can rotate side to side at the head, and you can get him to look down. He also has some neck pivot as well. He has shoulders that move outward. You can move them forward. He bends at the elbows almost 90 degrees, not quite. He also rotates at the elbow. One thing to note is that it's a little irritating just due to this elbow pad dealy over here. You can't really straighten his elbows out all the way. It's always going to be kind of bent like that. His wrists move side to side, and they have a hinge that moves up and down. He also has a diaphragm joint right over here that moves side to side, has some pivot, and it crunches forward and back a little bit. The belt is actually movable, so you can move that all the way around. He has really cool looking hip joints. I really like these hip joints a lot. They move outward very far, and you can move them forward, and you can rotate over here, so that's really cool. It's more of the thigh swivel that I'm a bigger fan of. This is kind of interesting technology to me. This is just a little bit new. I've seen it before on other figures, but not really used to seeing it on Marvel Select figures, so I like that. He has double jointed knees that bend all the way in like that. No boot rotation. He has ankles that move down. They cannot move up because this part of the strap that goes over the top runs into this piece over here, so you can't really move the boot up at all. And that's why I think the figure looked kind of funny when it was standing earlier like this. It's like he'll always have this straight 90-degree look if you bend his knee like that, and that's a bit frustrating. But he does have a beautiful ankle pivot. I love the ankle pivot. And he does have pecals at the bottom of his feet. With Marvel Select being a 7-inch scale figure line, this particular figure stands just over 7 inches tall. And here's a Winter Soldier Captain America compared to the first Avenger Captain America, and I do like the proportions on this guy more. This does look cooler to me. His shoulders are kind of slouchy and whatnot, but still a good figure. And here he is compared to the Marvel Legends Winter Soldier Captain America figure, which I actually like more. If you had to pick between the two of these, I'd recommend this one over here. And now this Captain America over here, the Legends one, the shield is a bit oversized, and I just kind of want to demonstrate how this will fit onto the Select one over here. Okay, there he is. He's holding the shield. It actually doesn't really look that bad. It actually kind of works. Not too bad. And then here's Captain America compared to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. So overall, I gotta say, this is a pretty decent figure. Not a great figure. I think Marvel Select could have done better. I'm really looking forward to the Falcon figure, but it's not bad at all. I really like the overall sculpt of it. It looks pretty cool. It does look more like Chris Evans than the Marvel Legends version, and I think it's an okay figure, just not great. Now, as far as that ankle issue about moving the ankles upward, I was able to do it with the right ankle, so I just have to correct myself on that, but still, I'm very much having a tricky time doing it on the left foot over here. That's still kind of a pain, but yeah. Anyway, please check out MarvelousNews.com for a full photo gallery of images, and hit the like button if you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Crispy.
Oh. What a dumbass.